I've been expecting you. I hear you have some questions for me. Johnny Ramos wants to know, do I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I haven't seen the Michael Bay adaptation yet. It did make me a bit curious, but I don't usually like those live action versions as much. It really looked really weird, and there was another one that a few years back about another live action adaptation, and it was so garbage. It was painful, and yeah, but the cartoon, where that they have all the action figures about, and it doesn't look creepy as hell, and it's all PG. That was, I really did like that cartoon. So yeah, I would say I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That flute guy wants to know, do you know any other languages? If so, what are they? No other languages. Not many Australians bother learning a second language because it's such an isolated country. Everyone on the continent is in Australia, and the country speaks English. So even though we technically have no official language, we speak English. Just random fact there. Techie121592 wants to know what I do at Planet Dolan. I am one of the editors and a manager, and that means that I give out work for all the voice actors, and then I take that work, I edit it, the audios, and I give that out to the animators. Then either me or Silver Spider will then edit the illustration, and then that will go live. So I'm a middleman slid in between every slot there, aren't I? Potentially. Manager stuff. It's boring. Oh, not for me, but if I explained it all to you, you'd get bored quickly. This person with the name I'll probably butcher wants to know, if I could have one superpower, what would it be? I would probably be interested in super speed after watching X-Men, Quicksilver, He made it look really cool, and I could go for that. That looks like fun. Aisha World wants to know, what microphones do you and the Planet Dolan crew use? I use this one. I use this one. This one here. Serious answer, I have an AKG P120 hooked up to a Steinberg UR12. Both are slightly out of the mainstream, but pretty much like your low end of the good stuff. I know that Hellbent uses an Electro Voice ER20, which he uses a compressor, and then he goes through a Scarlett i212. Not sure what the other guys are using. I know a lot of guys are using Blue Yetis. Blue Yetis are a very simple solution without going through the XLR route. Diana A wants to know, are you still with that girl you mentioned in How We Met Our Partners Part 2? Yes, I am, and we're actually coming up to our 8-year anniversary in a couple months, so that's exciting for me, It's a random number, isn't it, though? So, I don't know. 2 more years onto that, and then it's a special thing, isn't it? Dale Gam and Lion Fox Gaming 120 both want to know, is Cid, the character, or myself, a furry in some way? And Cameron Mamati responded and said no, and they are pretty much spot on right there. I don't have any sexual thing going on regarding that. It's just an anthropomorphic animal that I've chosen to adorn to be my character. It doesn't have to be anything sexual. You're weird for thinking it is. Caleb wants to know, how did you first meet Dolan and the others? So a few years ago, Dolan posted out a video saying he was looking for a new raiding guild, and I was the raid leader of a guild, and a bunch of my guildies said, check out this guild, and we were actually his second choice, but his first choice fell through, and he seemed to take a liking to me in some respect and wanted to hire me for some reason, and yeah, from then that's how I got to know Dolan. And then around about 4 or 5 months into the job, Dolan stopped it being an isolated contact stream where it was just like, him talking to everyone as separate individuals, and he made a big group chat for everyone to communicate with. And that's when I met everyone else, and since then it's just been one new person at a time, pretty much. And it's grown, and now it's like 30 plus people. It's pretty amazing. Cameron Mamadi wants to know, hey Sid, what's the future of your channel headed towards content wise? I'm going to assume you're talking about Sidious V, which has kind of mixed content on it. There's no designated plan right now. It's pretty much just me having fun, seeing what happens, and if you guys say, hey, we like this, then I'll try and do more of it. Captain Spud wants to know, how did you start out editing and working for Planet Dolan? So Dolan, who I already knew at this point, asked me if I wanted a job as an editor, with the intention, I believe, of becoming a manager one day if all things panned out, because he liked the way I managed the raid team, stuff like that. Raid team management, that's managerial experience, right? And I said I didn't know how to edit, and he said, I'll teach you. And we sat down for a couple hours. He showed me how to use a program called Sony Vegas, and he actually trialed me first off trying to do something that was a bit unusual, which was game stream editing, but I didn't know what he was after or how to use the program very well. So it was a bit, it was never gonna work. It really wasn't. Whereas when he was able to teach me how to do something, I was able to do it, and I've tried to improve since then. These three people all had the same question of, will I voice another Planet Dolan video? And the answer is really just totally not my choice. Although I do give scripts out, I do not hire people. And I am not hired to be a voice actor. I did the once-off script as, a bit of fun that Dolan let me have. But aside from that, it's not really my job at all to voice act. So I'm not going to be doing it. That's what we have voice actors for. So, as far as it goes, maybe if Dolan wants me to voice act more, I'll gladly give it a go, but maybe he'll see my time being better placed elsewhere. So, not up to me. Magma C wants to know, how did you become you? What? That flute guy wants to know, have you got any experience with music? If so, what instruments have you played? None. Sweet Treat 5 wants to know, if you didn't work for Dolan, what would have been your second option? What are these options you're talking about? We don't have options in Australia. You get a job, you're lucky. Ayesha World wants to know, how did the Planet Dolan crew get their characters? This is person to person, really. Some people have their own ideas, some people came in with the characters already designed and made and fully fleshed out. A lot of the animators especially had their characters before they, joined the crew. Diana A wants to know, what does your name mean? I made it up, just when I was 12, just mashing at the keyboards, trying to come up with character names. And that was that, pretty much. Andre Diaz says, Sidious, see, I did put the full name, thank you. Anyway, how do you get paid, and is your job fun? I get paid by Dolan putting money into my bank account. Pretty standard procedure, everything's above board. And is your job fun? Yeah, it's, for a job, it's very fun. But for fun, it's a job, Bren the Dragon wants to know, how was your day? Pretty good. Some guy wants to know, what are some of your hobbies? Music, raiding, I go to uni. Senks YT wants to know, what's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you in school? So, I'm going to assume that this extends to out of school activities, because there was this really bad moment of mine, and I'll share it with you. So, in year 12, the last year of Australian high school, I arranged a song, and I showed it to the band leader, who was my trumpet teacher, and he liked it, and he said, we should play this in the band. And I was like, yeah, okay. And so we fixed it up a little bit more. It made it like 27 pieces. I made it so everyone in the band had an individual piece, aside from a few clarinets and flutes, because screw them, they can play. They're not loud enough to get all their own parts. But yeah, I wrote like freaking 5 percussion parts. It's crazy. and so proud of this. And then the teacher said that I had to conduct. He said, it's your part, your song, you have to conduct it. And I was like, oh crap, I seriously designed this trumpet part for me. Oh no. I hope Anthony can handle it. And aside from one note, the high screech note, you didn't get it, but aside from that. And you know, we did rehearsals and all that, and then came to the Christmas concert when it was meant to debut, when it was meant to show and all that. And you know, even my current girlfriend, she was actually there. She was recording. We were dating at this point, just very early in our relationship. That's how long ago this was. And you know, I invited all my family to be there because it was a big deal to me. And they all came. You know, it was recorded. I got up on stage to start conducting, and I had a lot of trouble maintaining time. Not this day. No, this day I was spot on, because I was doing something to help myself keep time, and that's something I didn't think was very visible, but it was. I was shaking my hip and bouncing my hip a little bit, and to everyone it looked like I was kind of shaking my ass a bit to every beat. It was only very minor, but it was quite noticeable out the back apparently, and it just looks like I was really, really into it. It wasn't sexual, it was just goofy. And at least, you know, the teacher came after me and was like, wow, you kept a really good time. I was like, yeah. And then my mum was like, your grandma was laughing so much. And I'm like, what? And she's like, oh, that's bad. Forever in the memories of my family, including my grandma. Yes. Fantastic. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Feel free to give me a thumbs up so I know you like the content, and give me more questions in the comment section down below. And a special thanks to all those who did ask questions and all those who gave me special art to put up here. It looks awesome. And yeah, that about wraps it up. Thanks. See ya.